What are those steps to improve efficiencies in your franchise? Oftentimes, you will know that there's an issue. This could have been done quicker. This could have not been wasted. This cost could have been lower. How do you reduce those inefficiencies in your franchise? How can we improve them? One of the first things to do is to ensure that the standards in your franchise, the various standards for production, for service are clearly understood by your team. Ensure that they are trained properly and they understand. It's one thing to say this is to be done this way, it's another thing when they actually understand. So the first thing is to ensure that the standards are understood clearly by your team, they're trained. The other thing you want to do is to review those standards. Are those standards realistic? Do they really lead to the required results that you want? Sometimes the process, the systems need to be reviewed in your franchise, so that's another thing to do. The third thing that is very useful, very applicable, is for you to manage from the top down. What does that mean? That means that if your labor costs came out to, let's say, 150,000 or 30%, don't just accept that number. Figure out what led to that. Is it a case where persons were taking too long to get the job done? Is it a case where the mix of your team needs to be reviewed? You might have strong, weak. You might have to look at the mix of that. And also, it's important to take into account all the total costs, for example, of labor costs. So oftentimes when you're budgeting and planning, you might say it's this amount per hour. However, you're not taking into account the other costs, the payroll taxes, the benefits. So you need to be looking at the total cost and then you manage from the top down when it comes to, managing waste, inefficiencies in your franchise. So inefficiencies can be reduced, can be eliminated. Again, it goes back to how you're managing your numbers. And to manage your numbers need to be correct. So it's a process. So it's all interlinked. So again, inefficiencies can be reduced in your franchise. It's again being clear of the systems or processes, be mindful of what needs to be improved, enhanced. Again, as your business grows, the systems and processes will need to change to support that growth, support the changes, and so forth. So please do remember to state where you're signing in from. And if you have any questions, feel free to state them in the comments. Any suggestions that have worked for you to improve inefficiencies in your franchise. And if you have any questions, yeah, feel free to send me a DM. Signing off in 3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone.